Welcome back to the road to 2200. I am 1983. My opponent is 1911. And they played E4, so we're going to play some Caro-Kann. Okay, well, our opponent's thinking carefully about... Ooh, okay. You're going to play that move. I'll play here. I was going to say, sometimes people go into the exchange variation from that move, and sometimes they play different variations. So I'm just going to attack the middle, play the other knight out, do things like this, 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 of course this first. It'll be interesting to see some people play that move to try to prevent it. Or, yeah, they played that right away as well. All right, so let's come out here. And so what I was saying is some people will play this move here to stop this pin, but he did not, or my opponent did not. This is a very common beginning. Oftentimes it's like here, we trade the bishops. So we'll go here. This is just kind of me making pretty rote moves out of my opening prep. Okay, so that's not the usual move. The usual idea is to go here and here. So let's just try to figure out what's happening here before we rush into something. So by not moving the bishop, by not moving the queen, I mean, this pin remains. I think the point of this was to allow the queen to move. I think we just go here, trade off this bishop. It's kind of an annoying bishop if we're going to try to do the minority attack. Minority attack is the idea of going here and undermining their structure, which we'll do after we castle, I think. This knight being here, yeah, I guess that's fine. We'll just castle. Our king looks secure. I feel like we should assume... No, assume maybe this is coming. Not yet. Okay, so I think the point of this is twofold. One, it's this threat, and then two, it is now this knight can move in. And it's not as devastating. Okay, so the question is, can we do our just standard minority attack? Let's think for a moment here. What is happening here? What are we going to do if the knight jumps into here? It's hitting the bishop also, so it's kind of annoying. I guess we could take, so most likely they're going here next. So let's go ahead and go here, and let's do our minority attack. I think this is a pretty normal minority attack type position. The point of it is we go here, and then we're undermining this pawn structure. So while we only have a 2 against 3, if we can end up in a situation where all these pawns are gone, then this pawn here on c3 becomes a real target, and it's hard to deal with. So we'll see if that's what ends up happening, or if something interesting happens in this position. Our opponent's taking a long time for a move that I think most people would make instantly. So that means maybe their plan wasn't to go here, and it's something else, and I'm wondering what that is. Perhaps it's to go here? An interesting idea could be to go here so that I can't actually go there. Not sure what I would do if the queen goes there. I'm a little bit tempted actually to trade this bishop for this knight. Like, it's so not doing anything useful that it's a bit tempting. And certainly if my opponent goes here, I'm going to be even more tempted. Yeah, okay. I was about to say something foolish, like this mate. But if this, it's replaced by this. So this square on h2 is still covered. So, what are we going to have here? What is our opponent up to? They're taking a very long time on this move. Kind of shocking. Are they doing some long calculation of like sacrificing at h7 or something? Thinking like they can sacrifice here and bring this knight in and that they'll have this big attack. I don't think that would work. I think after this, I would probably just go here. And then they can't bring the knight in even. So I don't know what they're doing here. I'm quite wondering. It's going to be funny if they just go here and here, which is the move most people would make very quickly. I guess maybe our opponent could be looking at something like this to bring the knight into the game. And if they were to go here, I think I would just take and give them this isolated pawn. I can blockade it by going here. I think I'd be pretty happy with that. So I don't know. I'm really at a loss now as more and more time goes by. What is happening here? I think this is one of the challenges of rapid games is you don't have the time on move 11 in a position where there's not a lot happening and where you should probably still be, maybe not in your opening lines, but at least in your opening plans to take, a 2.5, 3 minute investment here in a 10-minute game. That's just not good time management. So I think that's kind of already the takeaway of this game. Regardless of what happens, my opponent may play amazing from here and not need the rest of their time. But they've really put themselves at a huge disadvantage, sinking time into a position where is not required or going to give you the most payoff. So we'll see. I think it's just a good lesson generally about time management. Now, perhaps what's happened is our opponent's pet has gone to the bathroom on the carpet and they're taking care of that, or their child is having an issue and they're going to come back frustrated that they've lost a bunch of time, and here I am thinking they're going deep into this position. They're just like, life happened, man. Life happens sometimes. So I don't know. We'll find out if our opponent even is coming back. What is happening? I guess we should look at some lines while our opponent is away. The plan that I'm looking to execute is here, here, here. And then normally what happens is they'll have gone here, and they take, and I take, and then I take, and they take. And we end up with a position where this pawn has recaptured here, and all these other pawns. And look at this. As predicted, rook e1 is the move, and it took them 4 minutes to make rook e1. So I'm going here, and I'm just saying, okay, you took 4 minutes to make rook e1. I don't know why. Maybe life got in the way, but it was kind of a ridiculous thing. Okay, so they are threatening this, and they're threatening this. I can't take here because it'd be a fork, so I just got to move the bishop back, and that's fine. Okay, so what took 4 minutes to calculate that sequence? This is the opening plan of this variation. So if they didn't know that and it took them 4 minutes to find the opening plan, then I guess good on them. They found the right plan. But again, 4 minutes to do that is a lot. Like, there's a lot of other fine moves they could have made. They could have gone here. They could have gone here. They probably could have just developed the knight to a square. Anything would have, okay, that's a weird move. So their idea now is, I'm going all in on the attack, which, I don't know. I'm not sure that's going to work. I'm actually looking at a weird move now going here. This looks like a very strange move to me. I don't know that it works at all, but the idea is I can take here. They take, I would be able to take back, and I would win a pawn. And if I go here and they take and I take, I guess the problem is then everything kind of falls apart and everything's very weak. I'm just kind of worried they're going to go here and it's going to get annoying. And my minority attack here is pretty slow. But I guess if they move away, like let's say they go here, I can just immediately jump on this. So I guess they can't really do that. So I think I can just push here. Yeah, we'll just push here and get this minority attack going. The point is, like, they're attacking me on the king side. I have a lot of defenders, and I'm going to go ahead and stir up some trouble on the queen side, distract them, make another arena for this battle. The problem I face with this minority attack is if my opponent goes really hard king side, and I just am too slow of reacting and bringing pieces over. That's when things can get a little bit messy. I guess a thing I also need to realize is this pawn is gone. So I really have to remember that this queen is backing up this knight. And if stuff starts falling apart, I can't forget that. That would be a key oversight. And I'm going to continually be revisiting this. Like, does this idea work in some scenarios? And it might. I'm also looking at ideas of relocating this knight to defend the king if that's becomes a priority. Okay, I thought my opponent was going to do that. And I think I just have here. And then when they trade, this just stymies everything. Unless they can get another heavy piece behind this rook, I don't think they have much here. I'm just going to go here. And I'm kind of inviting this move. I think I'm fine with that. It might have been better for me actually to go here first, now that I think about it. I'm not sure. Oh, wow, yeah, and actually, if I could end up with my rook here, I mean, my knight there would be even stronger, which I'm not going to be able to. It's a little piece of me that's like, what if I go here? I think I want to go this way. It just feels more secure and solid. And if nothing else, there are some interesting lines where maybe I end up just relocating the king and just evacuate, come over to the other side, and then attack their king. I don't know. It'll be interesting when we look at this with the engine at the end. Was this a critical move? Was it an either-or situation? I mean, I have 7 minutes on my clock, so I could have definitely, delved deeper into that. Ooh, I guess we now have this, which is... Ooh, okay, maybe I should have taken here. So if I had taken here, then this becomes very strong, where I'm threatening both of these spots. So that could have been interesting. My opponent has this weird idea now where it's like they need to get like the queen to here or the other rook to there. It's just going to be kind of hard to do that. I mean, if nothing else, I can go like here, here, and now all these squares are covered. I've got this move coming. Okay, so I guess this does allow this, or even here, but I don't think that's super helpful. What do we want to do here? This doesn't do anything, right? I mean, that's covered. I think the first step is just to really rip this queen side open. And let's, some stuff's happening over here now. I don't know if it's going to be amazing, but like rook here is interesting. I do think I want to evacuate this rook anyway. So I'm looking at something like rook, rook. And then I've got some real pressure over here on this file. And yes, the king is a little looser, but I think I want to dance away anyway. I think this knight wants to go here, but I don't think that works very well. So yeah, I think we're going to double the rooks. The question is where am I putting this rook? So this pawn wants to move. I think I was going to go here, but then they can go there. So I think I'm going to go here. It's kind of hard to kick. Yeah, also it's backing up this guy a second time, and the rook is backed up here by the pawn. So I think I'm going to do this and hope that this works out. And then the plan is to go here, and then if my opponent gets aggressive, just running away. Also, if my opponent gets aggressive, this might be in order. And in fact, even here could be good. Starting to pressure this pawn. Maybe that's better than sort of pressuring. This is one of those problems with open files that I really struggle with. This is not an open file I can really do that much with, but I guess I can get to this square, which does seem pretty good. And since I can infiltrate there, I think this is a reasonable idea. The queen will probably go to here, maybe here. I guess none of these moves let them get to where they want to get, but that rook starts to look pretty powerful there. Maybe then even I have ideas of doubling on this rank. We'll see what happens. But my opponent is down to 2 minutes. I mean, this is a wild decision that they're making. For being someone rated as high as they are at 1911, it's kind of surprising to see this level of mismanagement of their clock. And again, that might be too harsh of me, and maybe it's just an online game they had to step away from, but it just feels like we're only on move 18, and they've invested huge amounts of time in positions. I guess now would be a time, like it does kind of feel make it or break it for white. They've got this big attack going, but it doesn't feel like it's going anywhere, and it kind of seems like black's turning the tables, at least from my perspective. White's pawn structure is problematic. I'm about to double here on the open file. I'm imagining they're considering going here, and then I think I would just double. And if they trade, I end up with a rook here. We can start pressuring that pawn. So, I nearing a minute now. What is happening? My opponent is just making the strangest decisions ever. Under a minute to play. Okay. Are they going deep? They must be. They must be looking at like this, you know, and then here, and then threatening here. They've got to be like going deep into these things. Otherwise, I don't know what they would be looking at. It almost has to be what's happening. Is they're realizing that they're low on time. The position's kind of getting away from them, and so they're calculating some wild moves to try to salvage this thing. Or they're just running out of time here. Maybe they've given up and like, I'm too low on time anyway. It doesn't matter anymore. I don't know. Mysteries abound. Well, there are 10 seconds remaining in this round of the road to 2200, and in an unsatisfying conclusion, my opponent has let their clock run out of time. All right, well, my analysis of this position is that I'm ahead, but not far ahead. My opponent has a weirdly placed rook. If the attack doesn't work, it's kind of out of play. I'm about to have a very aggressive position. I'm going to go with the evaluation will be negative 0.7. That's what I'm going to go. We'll see what the computer says and see where we're at. Okay, so the beginning of this game was very straightforward. This is absolute theory, nothing weird. C3 usually comes before this move, but that's the ordering was different, but the moves are generally the same. Interestingly, the computer says this move order, well, I guess, no, the database says this move order is better for me, but the computer says it's just fine. Everything's equal. Now the computer says I'm doing pretty well, and that actually I missed a move here. That right here I have a tactic that I completely missed. That I could actually just take here. Because this. And that's why you always have to play C3. Like, always they play C3. And I noticed they didn't play C3, and I thought it was a weird move order, but I thought it was fine. It wasn't fine at all. And I wasn't even looking for this. I was still in, like, opening prep mode, and I was just, like, just blitzing out my moves. He made a huge mistake here, and E6 is the move I would always make in this position. Because this position always has C3, I didn't look for a second at the possibility that there could be tactics here. Our opponent's still not fixing the problem. I could still take the pawn and still just went opening prep mode, play bishop d6, we trade. Finally, they fix the problem. So, a great lesson in don't autopilot your opening moves. Just don't do it. It's a terrible idea. All right, so I castle. They move the queen over. I go for the minority attack. And they take what was like 5 minutes to make the main move here. I start the minority attack, another main normal move, and everything's just normal. And they put the rook here, which was a little weird. The computer says, like, it's probably not the best move, whatever. They put the rook here, definitely not the best move, kind of a weird move. Computer says I again have a tactic here. This is being backed up. They would take with the fork, and I could just go here. And what's the problem? So this is twice. Twice I missed easy ways to win crucial middle pawns. That is a very sloppy game by me. I move back. Takes. Okay, let's see. Yes, the computer suggests that both are fine, and mine is slightly better. All right. The knight develops. We do this normal thing. I go here. And I am wrong. The computer does not think I'm winning. The computer says it's 0.3 that I'm ahead, but it is an even game. My plan was to go, let's see, let's play out a couple moves. The computer says you would go there. And then if I continued with this plan, he would in fact do something like this and try to come in. And then now the computer's like, I don't think that this is such a good idea to execute your plan. Now you're kind of in trouble because they have some cool ideas. Oh, watch this idea. Let's say I go here. Check here. I missed this. I thought this move was unavailable because of the pawn. Oh, no, it is. For a second there, I thought the pin was there. But this is here. Holy cow. Winning the queen. So, winning the queen back. And how are we not? All right, takes here. So what is the material after this? After all of that, material is even. Okay. But that's... So that's kind of what I thought, right? Like I saw that was basically the extent of their attack, and I was like, that is not an impressive attack. I'm not worried. The computer says I should handle a little bit differently. I could do things like move him over, start moving the king over like I was going to. It's all even. So I don't know. A couple real big takeaways for me in this game are: one, opening prep is great, but do not let it blind you. Use your brain in the opening. Don't miss multiple opportunities to win pawns in the opening because you're just autopiloting the moves that are right. Okay? Use your brain. Look at the board. Number two, don't take 5 minutes to play Rook E1. Just don't. Not in a rapid game. You got to make some moves. You got to make moves faster than that. I don't know if life got in the way or if my opponent really went into the tank so hard to play Rook E1 that then they just didn't have time to close out the game. An interesting game to be sure. And I'll see you next time on the road to 2200.